How are you guys? This isn't what I really wanted to do. I was gonna set up the multi-camera for you and give you 2 different views, but I did the speed test, and believe it or not, the internet off of the laptop, the tablet, and the phone all had 1 megabyte a second or less, and we need 8 to broadcast from. So I figure if it's going to be that low, we'll try it from the phone. But I don't know, if you guys have a whole bunch of buffering, it might not even be worth messing with. Does that make sense? Anybody hear me? Probably not. I don't even think people can hear me. No buffering there. Okay, well, I guess this is better than nothing for y'all. Like I said, I wanted to do the multi-camera setup for you, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the hills and the mountains around here, or if we're just in a bad spot, or what. But I tried 3 different devices, and all 3 devices couldn't even load a simple web page. So we'll have to save the multi-camera view for, I guess, next time. So we'll leave it on this little camera for now, and just fair warning, you might get a lot of buffering. Nothing I can do about it. If buffering gets to be too much, there's always a snowman camera. See, snowman camera don't care about buffering. And the other problem we have to worry about is the camera overheating. Since we're right by the sun. But let's see if I can't be ingenious and cover that up. I've got a little sheet of paper covering the phone, which might keep the direct sun off of it. Howdy, Frank. What score are you talking about, buddy? I don't know what score. Like I said, I wanted to do the multi-camera display, but we ain't got enough tower signal for that. We'll do that another time. Who's winning? We're winning. And every road crew member in the BigRigTravels website's a winner in my book. I like that lime green. Would you guys own a lime green truck like that? Jason, M.A. Sudi, how are you? P. Tubbs, how are you? Gossamer, how are you? Does the camera look crooked or is it just my eyes? The lot's probably crooked, which makes me look crooked. Tree line's crooked too. Twinkie, how are you? A lot of new names in here today. See, you know I care about you guys. I always try to get the very best spot in the parking lot. That's why we usually make one round through all the slots, evaluate, see what the best view is for you, whether it's on a live camera or break time or whatever. Yeah, you're not too far, Frank. Jenny, how are you? Oh, I forgot. I turned my eyes for a minute. When there's a mechanical, electrical problem on a truck, what are you allowed to do? And what are you forbidden to do? Since it's a company vehicle, I call up my maintenance crew and I tell them XYZ is wrong with it, and it's up to them to fix it. Dude, 20 jumping jacks. What's wrong with you? I'm out of the military. Is this a new truck stop? I believe so, because I personally have not been to this one. Not that I remember anyways. Why are some trailer doors open? Well, that's an open-ended question. Where do you see that? I don't see that. Why are cars getting into the truck stops? In this location, there's actually a different entrance, but the cars leave out of the same exit because of the light. But I don't know if this is road crew or what the deal is here. Oh, he's gonna go, okay. The car was looking for somebody, and it wasn't us. Howdy, Margareta. Those aren't rear doors you see going down the highway like that. Those are actually trailer tails, and it's supposed to be an aerodynamic feature. I don't know if they really work or not. Half of the time trucks don't even bother to open them up, so howdy, Great Riff. David Thomas, no 30-minute break. We are done because
home messaging. You have 0 hours and 19 minutes of remaining drive time.
we have 19 minutes left on our 70-hour clock. We don't gain anything back until after midnight Pacific time. So that's what, 3 a.m. here? But we're loaded. We have a load in the trailer, locked up, sealed. So we deliver tomorrow as soon as we get there. Oh. See, now you guys get to watch another truck back up pretty nicely. What makes this a little bit difficult is you're actually backing up a hill, and that's a little bit tricky. Oh, scenic drive. You had no idea how happy that made me to find a parking spot. Howdy, WV man. Segway ride. I don't know if there's anything around here to Segway ride to. How often do I get stopped for a DOT inspection? Not very often. Not very often at all. How long have I been driving? 12 years. Dave M., how you? When can we do a cooking show? I don't know. It's not on the schedule, but yeah, I would like to probably start shooting raw video for it on my time off, I guess. How's the weather up here? Just what you see. Sunshine, no rain, not a cloud in the sky, no wind. Got the windows cranked open a little bit. Up rail fan, how are you? How do I blind spot back up? I don't know how you would explain it. See, now if you look, I don't know, does the camera show them? You could barely see, but at the very, very far right, you see that red truck that is just sitting there by the curb. But if you look at the trash can and the shadows, he's a good 5, 6, 7 feet, maybe more than that, off of the curb. And that makes it difficult for trucks to back in, because that red truck really shouldn't be there. There's plenty of wide open spots, so that red truck is just making life complicated. And the fact that he isn't even touching the curb and he's sticking out so far is another thing that makes it a little bit hard there. When am I supposed to deliver in Ohio? We will drop it tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon, whatever. David, we were going to halfway do a radio show, but there's no signal out here. I'm going to try to do a radio show on Friday or Saturday. Do I like to go fishing? I hadn't been fishing since I was a kid. I like roaming around the lakes and the streams and all that stuff. Do I ever go to Hunts Point in Queens? I have no earthly idea what that is. But yeah, judging on the truck stop activity here, you should actually get quite a view. Plenty of trucks for you to roam and peruse through. Would I ever confront the guy in the red truck to inform him of his rude parking? Not really. Because I have found out that when you try to ask somebody, hey dude, can you like back up or help or whatever, and they flat out refuse. They more or less throw a temper tantrum. And like I said, if it's 2 a.m. and a truck stop parking's full and you're parked off to the side like that, okay, that's one thing. But it's the middle of the day with half the truck spots open. You know, why not back into a proper spot? But not everybody thinks like that. Do I have any fight stories? No idea what you're talking about. Do I like my new refrigerator? I do. I love it. Should have bought it years ago, and it's very expensive, but worth every penny. Howdy, Belinda from the UK. Yeah, we're done. We only got 19 minutes left on our 70-hour clock. Greg Treadway, how are you? We'll be going through your way tomorrow, won't we? You're going to be around tomorrow, Greg? Hey, talking about the I got mine, so shut up attitude. What'd I say? Last week, 2 weeks ago? Some driver asked another driver to move. I don't know what it, in the fuel island or something like that. And the lady shot at him. Shot at him 8 times. And of course the cops got her down the road. But, you know, the guy simply asked her to move from the fuel island or whatever. And of course you'll never know the whole story. But the only story that part of the story that concerns me is if she's crazy enough to shoot at another driver in the fuel island not once but 8 times, you just never know. Scott Kern, how are you? Glad you enjoy it. Greenbird, what response did I say? I forgot. I gotta scroll back. Did I miss something? Oh, you're the one who asked me about that. Yeah, there's... Years ago, you could probably ask somebody for help or whatever, but you got some crazy people out there now. And like I said, the few times that I've asked somebody, they just look at you, no, I don't want to, I don't have to, I ain't got time or whatever. And so it's kind of like just not worth it. What's the best coffee? I like my Pilot coffee. I like Texas pecan coffee. Since Love's changed their coffee brand, Love's coffee really isn't bad, especially since it's free. Connecticut's hard. For one, we don't really get up that way. Number two, there's not much for truck stops or rest areas. What highway is that in front of us? I am not sure. If you do a search, Google search, satellite view of, I don't know where we are, Statesville, Loves. Now see, this is what really gets me. So we're going to show them over there. See that? Big old sign on both ends of that street say no trucks. And here comes a truck. I don't know why truck drivers can't read signs that say no trucks. All they had to do was go to the entrance. See, now he's going to try to bend around. it just, I don't know. It'd be nice if truck drivers, well, no, I don't want to say just truck drivers. It'd be nice if people could actually read the highway signs. Yeah, CB radios are pretty much gone. We still have ours. But you figure the 70s, that's how people communicated. There was no cell phones, there was no TV in the truck and all that. And so that's what truck drivers used to talk to each other and communicate and all that stuff. And now, everybody's got weather on the phone, on their tablet, in their truck computers, and all this other stuff. People just don't really use the CBs at all anymore. And we've turned it on now and then, but I'll be honest with you, it's just a bunch of foul-mouthed garbage out there. What's the best state? I don't know, to start your life over. It all depends what you're looking for. Are you a country person and you want to live out in the mountains? Are you a city person where you go to clubs every night? That's really something only you can answer. What kind of music do I like? I like gospel, I like country, I like upbeat music. Monument Valley, that sounds familiar, but I don't know where it is. Oh, okay, Monument, we just went through there not that long ago, I think. How do I like my coffee? I like 10 yellow packets and 5 caramel creamers, or hazelnut. Trevor, how are you? Trying to keep the camera balanced. Ooh, it's almost hot. See, we got the sun coming up on the
You
side.
get one unread message.
The tire pressure is 100, 110, depending on what tire it is. And the trailers are monitored, and there's a little indicator light on there. You're gonna have to hear the AC run to keep you guys cool. Otherwise the phone will shut off. What's the favorite road to drive on? Anyone that's sunny and dry and wide open. Other than that, they're all pretty much the same.
You have 0 hours and 19 minutes of remaining drive time. Home. Messaging.
Is it faster to use the bypass or stay on 75? I know 85 goes through, I guess 70, I don't know. We have to stay on the outside of the loop anyways. It's a big ticket if we get caught inside the loop. How do I feel about the self-driving trucks? I don't care. It don't bother me one way or the other. I don't think they're gonna completely take me out of my job in the next 10 years. And even if they take me out of my job tomorrow, I just adapt, find something else to do, find another way to make money. You know, what happens, happens. I mean, you know, ain't nothing I can do to stop it or prevent it or make it happen faster. So you just roll with the punches, basically. I think it's a lot further. I think I'll be retired before it becomes a normal everyday thing. But hey, whatever happens. Can somebody take a CDL test verbally? I think reading is one of the things you have to do for a test. How close am I to retirement? I'm 54 now, so I guess I'll retire when they kick me off the truck. Or until the road crew donates like $682,000. Have I heard there's an outage on Verizon cell phones? I have not. When will I be back through Washington State? We just came from there. We just came from Yakima. When we'll be that way, I don't know. I never know my trip until I actually get ready to start it. Have I ever traveled overseas? No. Are you required to use DEF? Yes, all the newer trucks have DEF. If you don't use it, you're going to kill your engine. We'll do 43 one day, Jim. I know you keep asking, but remember, this is a job, not a sightseeing. Unless you want to call sightseeing over my shoulder. The boss picks a trip based upon my location and where the next shipper is and all that. Do I always run something? I don't know. Do trip planners ever offer more than one trip at a time? Sometimes they will give me back-to-back-to-back trips, but they don't really give me a choice. Because remember, the choices, or the way trips are designed is, where do I deliver? And when do I deliver? Like what time of day or night or whatever. Then they pick the next closest shipper to me that is the next available. Like say the next morning or later that afternoon or whatever. So, I mean, you have to be logistical and or logical about how you run this. Do I always run full point to point? No. If I deliver and the next shipper is not for 300 miles, then we go empty 300 miles. I do a lot of sightseeing. That's one of the perks of being a truck driver. Is the boss part of the road crew? Probably not. I mean, the boss messing with trucks all day long. You think they want to go home and watch, you know, it's kind of like when people ask me, do I watch other truck drivers drive? Well, no, because after I do my 500 or 600 miles a day, last thing on my mind is to watch somebody else drive. Twinkie, glad you enjoy. What do I think of New Mexico requiring a commercial vehicle permit? I have no idea what you're talking about. What kind of commercial vehicle permit? What goes into determining the route you use on a trip? Well, first off, you pick the most direct route, obviously. You know, for time and all that stuff. Second consideration is fuel. We have a truck computer that knows where we pick up, knows where we deliver. We'll check the prices at all the major truck stops between here and there, and will tell us how many gallons to get at what location for the best savings. Other than that, as long as I pick up the load on time and deliver the load on time, it's up to me when I start or exactly what road I take or whatever. Sometimes weather will play a part in the decision, which is why we avoided Nashville, because of the big landslide. So, good afternoon, Maud. How are you? What company do I see accidents the most? Probably UPS and FedEx. Really. You see a lot of those more. Luckily, I don't see a whole bunch of 18-wheeler wrecks. Anytime there's been a big, massive pileup of 50 vehicles and whatnot, we have always been far away from that mess. So, what games do I play when I have time off? Usually I'm playing the website game or talking to mom or family or whatever. Eat, you know, take care of business, go to bed. Trip router knew I-24 was closed. No, because the truck fuel routing wanted me to go through Nashville, but we didn't. How was the drive today? The drive was pretty good, Paul. How many batteries? 6? 4? I forgot. To be honest with you. 70 degrees in Chicago. Nice. Oh, Jim Diller, I think you look cheesy for constantly asking me to do a interstate that I don't have reason to go on, buddy. Let's see. I guess Jim Diller thinks I'm out just driving around for fun. Apparently I missed a question somewhere. Most interesting animal sighting. Me when I wake up at 2 a.m. and have to drive. What was the last load I just delivered? I still have to write that up. I probably mess with that after a little while. But I'll give you a hint. Think Mexican. And I'll give you a bigger hint. Think Mexican food. Steve doesn't follow football. I really don't. I don't know. I understand a lot of people love their football. More power to them. And we'll just leave it at that. I have my own philosophy about that. I've mentioned that before, but I don't feel like going into all that mess. Have I ever been part of a convoy? No, because I go slower than everybody else. DMF Trucking, you have yourself a good night. I should go get my coffee refill since I never did. See, actually, you get quite a bit of truck traffic in this corner. Wish we had a better signal. Because I was going to point one camera at that intersection and the other camera at the fuel adder. But we'll play that another day. We don't really get up to the New England states because that's kind of out of the main freight lane. Interstate 80, 70, that's where most of it runs. Why do I have to drive under 65? Well, we're governed to 65. And that is mainly for fuel savings. If you own a whole bunch of trucks and you could save yourself 5 cents per gallon or whatever the case may be for every mile, you know, for how many ever trucks you own, that could translate into millions of dollars a year. For me, the first 250,000 miles we had this truck, we had a average of 8.3. Now we're at what, 380,000 miles on this truck, and our lifetime miles per gallon has dropped all the way down to 7.9. And it looks like that green truck can't make it up the hill for some reason. Is there any money to be made pulling containers? I have no idea. I see everybody doing it, so I imagine. I'm sure they ain't doing it for free. How much horsepower do we have? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I'm not that, I guess you call it mechanically, you know, up to date on what the trucks have and all that. I really don't know. I'm sure somebody in the chat room would probably be able to tell you. How far have I deadheaded before? I don't know. I think one time we did like 500 mile deadhead. How many trucking companies have I worked for? 2. Mechanically inclined. Howdy to Italy. How are you? Over across the big pond. If you look up the truck specs that I got and run that through the Freightliner website or whatever, I'm sure they'd be able to tell you. Or forums. I know there's trucking forums that could probably tell you the torque value of every bolt on every truck. You know, that's just not my thing, to be honest with you. As long as I mash the pedal and it goes and I make money, that's what I do. Rusty, make sure you give Rusty scritches behind the ear for me. Everything we do is basically cross country. Some are short trips, some are longer. I guess if you added up all the short and all the long and all that stuff, I'm going to say, I don't know, 500 miles is the average. We don't go into Canada, so I personally won't. Am I a million miles driver? Yes. If you go to the website, you'll see my career mileage. 1.56 million miles, I believe. How do I like the automatic versus the manual? At first I thought having an automatic wouldn't be all that good, but turns out I love it because I didn't lose my manual capabilities. What I have now is actually a combination of both, where I could go full manual or I could go full automatic or flip-flop between the two any way I want to. So actually, it's the best of both worlds. A 100 years ago when I was a truck driver. Sometimes it feels like 100 years. What city and state do I like best? Anywhere with mountains and the big trees and the rivers and lakes. Washington, Idaho, Montana, Utah, Northern California. It's all good, to be honest with you. Am I waiting for a pickup? No. Check out the website. It shows you where we are, where we picked up. We already did our delivery this morning, and we've already been loaded this morning. What's my favorite interstate? I don't really have a favorite interstate. If the road is dry, wide open, clear, you know, all that good stuff, that's what I call a good road. Any truck make you like best? I've driven them all except for a Mack, and this Freightliner is the best one I've had. Mark, how are you? I've driven 5 Volvos and none of them impressed me. How often do I get home? I try to take some time off. 4 days, a month or whatever. Have I ever been to New York City? I've been to the Bronx. That's about as close. The Bronx and Long Island. What did I do before I became a truck driver? First job was a bag boy and a cashier at Albertson's grocery store when I was 16. Aircraft mechanic or aircraft electrician, avionics, for corporate and private jets. Worked on nuclear missiles, Minuteman III up in North Dakota. Do I feel like I make less money with all the new trucking rules? No. I don't know. I mean, for as long as I've been in trucking, 12 years, no. If you're talking about paper versus electronic logging, it's all the exact same thing. It's just either you write it down with a pencil on a piece of paper or it's stored electronically. But the rules are the exact same. Did I ever drive a Ford 9000 and did I like it? I have not. How did the all-terrain tires work out? We played around the parking lot in California. Oh, I don't know, a 15-minute ride. I like it. Seems pretty good. We'll have to do longer rides. I don't see a sidewalk anywhere around here. What state has the worst DOT inspectors? I don't know. I've not had a problem with any of them. Thank you, John. We were Air Force for 5 years. We weren't a really good fit. We did okay, and I tolerated it, but do I have a favorite restaurant? Not really. Maybe Wally's Cafe. What state has a lot of way stations? Oregon, Washington. They have a lot. Been through Ohio? I have. What do I like about my truck? Extremely minimum downtime. Basically, we had a headlight socket replaced and a main power fuse. That's it, as far as I can remember. But the Volvos, man, all 5 of them had a lot of trouble. Peterbilt, Kenworth, we were in the shop every other month. Can DOT read the electronic log? Yes. Have I ever stopped in Paxton, Nebraska? I have not. Have I been to the UK? I have not. How long have I been driving this current vehicle? I don't know. I want to say a wild top of my head guess, September 2015. I'm thinking. Is there any way to cheat on electronic log? I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody somewhere that knows how. I don't know. Ever been through Phoenix? Yep. Do I put my headset on when driving, when talking to buddies and whatnot? Yeah. Alright, I'm going to play a commercial and I'm going to go get some coffee. You guys entertain yourself. Do I plan my own route? As long as I show up at the shipper and delivery on time, the rest is pretty much up to me. Was that missile job nerve-wracking? No, in fact, it was pretty slow. Wellington, New Zealand. Welcome aboard. Make sure you check out the website. By the way, any of our new road crew, glad you're here. Make sure you do check out BigRigTravels.com. You can find out the current trip information, where we picked up, where we left off, where we deliver, progress bar, trip tracker, live speedometer, compass, GPS, 50,000 photographs, Segway videos, drone videos. We have a gallery of road crew members that we have met over the years. All sorts of good stuff. Aldi's. I usually shop at Aldi's on my time off. What's the strangest town name I have no earthly idea. Well, no, I take it back. Transylvania, Pennsylvania. I believe that's where it was. But literally, I didn't know that there was a real town called Transylvania. And apparently there is, because we drove through it. and the town water tower has bats all over it. I'm not kidding. I'm sure somebody could look it up. But, yeah, Transylvania. I want to say it was Pennsylvania, but maybe not. But I do know the town name was Transylvania. So, Linda G. Hey, I'm not leaving y'all. Well, no, I'll take that back. I'm leaving y'all for a minute, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some more if you want to. But yeah, enjoy it. Let me play your ad, and I'll be right back. A couple minutes. Are roundabouts a big pain? Not really. You just gotta watch your mirrors and whatnot. Hazardous cargo, yes, you do have to have that endorsement, as well as a hazardous cargo certificate. Am I going to ride my Segway? Probably not today. Characterize truck drivers as being good people. I think they're just like anybody else. You have good people and bad people in every walk of life, no matter what they do. Arto, good night, buddy. Chris, good night. How often do I haul hazmat? None.
Home. Messaging.
I'm
You have
licensed.
0 hours and 19 minutes of remaining
I'm
drive
licensed
time.
for everything except hazmat and passenger bus, and I didn't want to pay the $75 for hazmat certificate. Driving a truck to me is just like driving a car. You know, I mean, all your thought processes and all that stuff are the same. You just have to remember you're taller, you're longer, you're wider, and yeah, it takes, you know, more to turn and all that stuff. Other than that, it's exactly the same. You know, you get used to it. It's you handle a truck every day just like you would handle a car. You get used to it. Stumbled into a live trucker site, can't hold a candle to me. Okay? I don't know if that's good or bad. What'd you see? You cannot drink alcohol at all while you're driving or in charge of a truck or anything like that. So what other channel you two-timing on there, Janet? Let's see, what size is the trailer wheels? I don't know. That would require me to leave my food and go look at my trailer tires. Arto, I appreciate that. What's the topic, Troy? I don't know. Anything that doesn't require brain power. Let's see. Who was it? Clyde. Tell you what, Clyde, I am going to take my notebook out there and I'm going to write the tire size. Just for you. But you owe me $1. I'll be right back. Okay, Clyde, here's your answer. 445/50R 22.5. Do I live in a truck? Yes, I do. Live in the truck all the time. Is there a problem with breaking into trailers while parked at a truck stop? Not really, but certain places are known for high theft, and one of the reasons why we keep quiet about what we're hauling until after we've made our delivery. If you were to haul big screen TVs, you don't want to like publicize that and talk about that on the radio, you know, because I mean, somebody's going to set up a roadblock and get you and whatever. So yeah. Yeah, in fact, Chicago, we were talking about that. Chicago had $650,000 worth of lobster tail stolen. So yeah, it exists. And that's why we don't talk about what we're carrying. I need a fork. I need a fork. Where's my dollar? No, Clyde, now you're getting stupid. Greenbird, we don't answer that question. That's one of those, you don't need to worry about it. Am I eating? I will, as soon as I quit talking. What kind of radio do I have? I've got a Cobra 19, what is it? I don't know, 19 something. I'm beginning to think Clyde's just a jokester, wanting me to swerve into people. I guess Cobra is the most, or the most popular, biggest brand, I guess. Well, I'm glad that the blizzard is somewhere other than we are. That's always a good plus. We do really, really well planning and trying to do our timing to avoid any bad weather. You've seen me cut trips short while a storm rolls through, and you've also seen me go a lot longer than I wanted to drive just to get out and get ahead of the storm or out of the path. So we do what we can, and after that we just let the chips fall where they do. Accumulated snow on top of the trailer. Luckily, we've not run into that. Sometimes you can't do anything about it. That's a nice Peterbilt. Nice. Have I ever had a hard time backing into spots? Sometimes. Depends on how much room there is and what else is going on. Yeah, sometimes it does get to be an adventure. I think if we had the cameras going, you guys would be pretty surprised at some of the stuff I could pull off. Galaxy radios are out there. I don't know. You just hear more about Cobras. I think Galaxy's on the more expensive end of the deal, but thanks, James. I appreciate it. How are my parking skills? I'm going to say 97 out of 100. We can get in and out of almost everywhere. What do I think about engine braking? Well, it keeps us from using the brakes going down the mountains. Extremely rare that we will use our brakes at any time on a mountain. The truck we currently drive, now, we started driving what, September 2015, I believe, and it didn't even have 1 mile on it. Ever pay somebody to back my truck up? Nope. Who has better reward program, Pilot or Love? Love's 100 times hands down. And we'll talk about that on a radio show one day. We'll actually do a comparison between TA Petro, Love's, and Pilot Flying J. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. Have I been to all 58 states? Well, not Alaska, not Hawaii. Rank myself a little bit low. 97 out of 100. Well, it depends on how you look at it. We've backed up successfully into 100% of the spots in 12 years. That's a lot of customer backing up. That's a lot of Truckstop backing up. So in that regard, we've never put a scratch on anything. So in that regard, it's 100. Am I absolutely perfect? No, I don't think there's a truck driver out there that's perfect. So do I drink G Fuel? I have no idea what that is. I'll update the truck journal as soon as y'all let me be. We'll probably do that here after a little while. Is there any place in the country we have not visited? Sure. I don't know how many miles there are, but there's a whole bunch of miles of streets and highways and interstates and everything else. I'm sure there's a spot or two that we have not been. And of course, they're always building new highways. So see now that Western Express truck parked there, which is going to make it impossible for anybody to back up. But maybe he's just coming over here to get his tires like that. So you never know. Have I ever traveled down 127 in central Kentucky? I've got no memory of that. Waco KW dealership. I used to work at the Waco airport there. You'll have to remind me, Truck Tech. If you see me going to or through Waco, remind me. We'll see about stopping there. Am I finished driving today? Yes. Greg Treadway is a resident musician. Maybe he ought to come up with a website theme or something. Speaking of which, in case you don't know what stream you're watching, let me remind you.
Welcome to Big Rig Travels, your guide to the American highway.
And by the way, that is a professional announcer out of the United Kingdom named Mike. He's done a couple projects for us. Where is this? What city? Look at the title on the video. Have I been further north in Wisconsin than Madison? Absolutely. Can I get that guy to scream mash it? Hey, that's that's actually a good idea. Do I like the extra hour of daylight? It don't matter to me. We drive according to schedule, day and night. So it doesn't. That really don't affect me. What makes a truck run away? Basically, you're going down the mountain, you have 80,000 pounds pushing you down the mountainside. You're not in the correct gear, you're not going at the right speed. So they try to slow the truck down by using the brakes. Think about it. You have 40 tons pushing you down a hill. You think your little brakes are going to stop you? So he keeps mashing on them. After a while, the brakes overheat, they start to fade, and they don't work anymore. Or they heat up so much that your trailer tires catch fire. I've seen both. What's the closest to Canada or Mexico that I've been? Oh, Bellingham, Washington for Canada, and Laredo, Texas, Mexicali, Calexico for Mexico. We've done trailer swaps at the customs for both countries. I like my shit. Radio voice. Scott does radio voice. Well, you know my email, BigRigSteve at BigRigTravels.com. Send me some samples. I'm always open for good stuff. What were you afraid to ask? Now I got to scroll up to figure out what you asked. Oh, don't be afraid to ask questions. Jason's a very educated man. He's the only one that bought a Pilot thermos. Yep, it looks like the spots are filling up. Are there curving mountain roads that you won't risk? Well, there are mountain roads that trucks are not allowed on. So you wouldn't do that. Is it expensive to replace brakes? I imagine so. Byron Center, Michigan. That sounds familiar, but I don't know. If I don't have a map layout, I don't know. What's the most difficult road I've driven on? I don't know. I don't really remember anything being horribly bad. Do I ever take a passenger with me? I have before. Yep, it's the company truck, so the company pays for all the stuff. Jason, you ought to buy some pilot coffee. Have I ever hit a deer or animal on the road? No. Fish for Man, how are you? Stuffed Aunt Jemima. Maybe. Arjo, I thought you were going to bed. Ever carry livestock? No. Ford or Chevy, what's my preference? Probably Ford. I don't know, they're both good to me. Honestly, the best looking dualies all seem to be Rams. J-Dog, how are you? How much do you get paid for being a truck driver? All these advertisements you see that tell you they pay X amount for pennies per mile and advertisements and stuff, I get paid more than any of that. But I've got what do you call it? The longevity with the companies. I got my record. You drive 1,000,000 miles, you pretty much can write your own paycheck. And I hate to give you an exact dollar amount because when you do that, people expect to get paid the same, but that's not how it works. So much happens on an individual basis, you know, and I just can't. That's just one of those things you just don't talk about. I make enough that I'm very, very happy. Let's put it that way. Is there one thing that you don't have in my truck that I wish I did have? Absolutely. I've seen some of these Volvos and the Freightliners or whatever that has the bottom bunk is actually a table with 2 chairs basically. And what you do to make it a bed, you just fold the chair down or whatever, and the table lays flat. I don't know, but you could look it up. Oh man, I would give anything to have a table and chairs in the back of my truck or in the back of my sleeper, whatever. I would love that, and I would do anything to get one because I have to balance the laptop on the steering wheel when I work on the website or whatever, and I'm sitting in the exact same position all day, whether I'm driving or working on the website. So yeah, if I had a not a coffee table, but a table with the chairs back there, that that would be just absolutely awesome. But you have to buy your own truck if you want one of those, and we're not doing that. Can I say if it's mid-high or 5, huh? Well, okay, just roundabout top of the head figure, everything included, we're talking 80 plus. So, yeah. But don't anybody think you're going to get out of school and start demanding companies pay you that. So. I heard that, Walt. In fact, I talked to somebody that had a brand new 2019 Freightliner Cascadia. And I asked him about it. He was not happy with it because it actually was missing 2 closets. And I asked him about the table, and he says his didn't come with a table. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Make sure, Colton, I appreciate you watching every day. Stuff like that, the best thing to do is to send me an email. BigRigSteve at BigRigTravels.com. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. If you've been watching, you know how the schedule could change in a blink of an eye. So, average pay for a driver out of school, I don't know. You could probably find that online because, of course, it's going to depend on what company you're looking at. It's been so long since I've been a new driver. I'm sure it's changed since then. Has a truck I've ever been driving needed a tow to be repaired? Absolutely. Okay. It's the boss. It's the boss. Hang on. always got to take the boss's call. So, have I ever driven a vehicle that needed to be towed? Oh, absolutely. I think all of them except for the Freightliner. Can I show you the dashboard of my truck? Nah, we'll do that one day. Is this your last day of your 70-hour clock? Well, it's a rolling clock. So every 8 days, it just kind of rolls on along. So... Am I a member of a union? I am not. I was gonna holler, somebody stole my chili cheese hot dogs. Do I have a mascot? Probably Aunt Jemima. I guess. Austin, Texas knows what Bill Miller Barbecue is and Whataburger. Yes, Love's is better coffee than McDonald's. I have not pulled any tankers. Do I have a favorite truck stop? There's a lot of good ones. Oak Grove 70 is good. Iowa 80 is good. A lot of the mom and pop used to offer free Wi-Fi. Would I pull a tanker? Anything's possible. I got a license. I like reefer because I could do both reefer loads and dry loads. Howdy, Nickel. No, we've never delivered to Canada. Howdy, Elizabeth. Have I been in New Orleans? Yes. Company owns all trailers. Howdy, Diana. Have I ever gotten sand in my shoes in Florida? Yes. Reefer noise it doesn't bother me. I'm used to it. I didn't care for In-N-Out. If anybody remembers, we tried In-N-Out in Barstow, California. Only time I'd ever been to one. I was not impressed at all with the food quality. Nothing. What's the weather like in North Carolina? Well, you see it. 68 degrees or whatever it is, 65, sunshine. On my time off, are you allowed to drive my truck? And depends on what you're talking about. Do I get to drive the truck like on vacation? No. Have I been to Five Guys? I have. I went to Five Guys in Greenville, Texas. The company owns all the reefer trailers. You know, nothing against In-N-Out. It didn't do anything for me. Nothing for a selection, nothing for being able to make it your own hamburger. To me, really, really cheap on the quality of food as well. My opinion. Whataburger, my goodness. Big fat hamburger buns, big chunk of meat in there, everything you want on there, reasonably priced. So, do I have a car to use? I can rent a car or whatever the case may be. I've got several rental car company cards, so. Does anyone else drive the truck? Nope. We don't do slip seats. Where am I at now? Look at the title. Statesville, North Carolina. Do I own my own truck? I do not. It belongs to the company. I'm a company driver. Do I like it when Prius cut me off on the highway? Well, I don't like it when anybody cuts me off on the highway. Yay, hamburgers are on Jason. Have I ever been to Fuddruckers? Yes. Do I venture down to Key West at all? I took a vacation down there, yes. George Weber, welcome aboard. What video is that, Greg? That was very timely for you. Did I ever come to Columbia, South Carolina? Yes. We've eaten at Moe's. I've eaten at Chipotle. Don't remember Qdoba. Go to the FAQ, RDub, go to the FAQ section on the website, and it gives a very basic explanation of the hours of service. Give you an idea of how it works anyways. Have I been to Steak and Shake? Yes. After I retire, when I drive on long trips, if I had money and I retire from truck driving, I would buy an RV, fill it full of cameras, and continue Big Rig Travels. I honestly would, yes. Have I hauled automobiles before? No. Do I have videos of Key West? I do not. What camera do I use for the live streams? I actually use dual Samsung Galaxy Note 5s. I do have a lot of photography of Key West though, and several lighthouses in Florida, all that stuff. Go to the website BigRigTravels.com, click on photography, and 50,000 photographs. So just click Florida and go from there. Howdy, GK. Have I ever been to Philly? I guess you mean Philadelphia, yes. Bad roads in the country by state. Every state has good roads, every state has bad roads. Probably if I had to pick a single, would be dang Shreveport, Louisiana. Well, Big Rig Travels ain't going anywhere. We used to actually have the name BigRigTravels.com. And I paid for that domain name for the first 10 years. And then I thought, well, if I got an RV, would I really want to change everything? And the answer would be no. I would still go through BigRigTravels.com because that's what everybody knows us by. So I let go of that. But yeah, we did have Big RV Travels. Thank you, Linda. I do love taking pictures. Love getting out there and taking pictures. Do I ever go to Donnie? I have no idea what that is. Home state is Texas. Where am I at? I am in Statesville, North Carolina. Where'd you send a donation to? Steph. I'll look it up. Do I have calendars with places I have been? Check out the Big Rig Travel store. I think we've got maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 calendars left. I do not have a picture of my truck, but if you want to see exactly what my truck looks like, just Google 2016 Freightliner Cascadia and you'll see a picture of it. Trucks are not allowed on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Do I use a camera holder? Go to the FAQ section. And in there, I've got pictures of how how my camera mountings work. What's the best city for someone that's homeless? Huh? I really don't know. What's the worst mountain pass you've traveled on? Well, what do you call worst? What would make it the worst? How do I feel about Interstate 87? I don't know. What do you mean? Have I been on my Segway? I've not been on it lately. I do like my country western music. You know, actually, GK, a lot of people like the videos, and that's one thing we do different than the other trucker channels. We broadcast all day long. To some, it might be boring, and not enough excitement and all that stuff, and that's fine. But I believe in showing you guys more or less what a truck driver does. I take you through the fuel island, wash bays, all this other stuff. We broadcast every day that we drive. I remember getting 1 or 2 emails over the years. One, believe it or not, one lady that makes films told me that I should not, and I'm serious, I should not be broadcasting or making videos when it's raining because it's not the best picture quality. And she was appalled that I have videos taken at night where you can't see anything. And I take videos of me driving with the sun in your eyes. But honestly, I show you what the life of a truck driver is. And that means when we drive through the rain, when we drive through the fog, when we drive at 2 a.m., when we drive and it's doing nothing but snowing, when the sun is right in front of your eyes and you can't see anything, that's what I broadcast to you. You guys see exactly what a truck driver has to see. So, yeah, I'm glad you enjoy it. People are free to come check in and watch anytime that they want to. Vista Light out in California, how are you? If you want to see what Vista Light 1972 looks like, he's one of the road crew members that we met last year, I believe. Oh, dang nabbit. October, November, I don't remember. But you gotta go to the website, check out, click on photography, click on road crew gallery, and you'll see him. Hey, Mark Weber, thanks for the $5, man. I greatly appreciate that. Mary Smith loves the channel. Nice, glad to hear. Yeah, we keep going no matter what. Over the, I mean, we get a lot of exposure, for YouTube channel and whatnot, and I hear all sorts of all sorts of things. People tell me I can't drive. People tell me I shouldn't be videotaping, during bad weather or at night or whatever, and they just don't get it. We're not trying to win a photo contest. I'm not doing it for actually anybody's approval per se. I simply am broadcasting the life of a truck driver. basically, if you break it down to the basics, that's all I'm doing. No frills, no fancy graphics, nothing like that. I just throw myself out there and turn the cameras on, and what you see is what you get. I appreciate that, Greg. Have I ever used a runaway truck ramp? No. What's the coldest weather experience? Do you mean truck driving, or do you mean in my entire life? DT, you're welcome. Being family friendly, kids safe is important to me. There's enough garbage out there that I'm trying to provide a clean place for people to go. We are on the national school approved list of websites for use in school. I know geography teachers use us for as we go through the states. What does a state flag look like? How big is it? Where is it? You know, all that other stuff. I know math teachers have used us for how many miles a gallon does he burn in one day, and how many miles, you know, and all this other stuff. I know a couple driver ed teachers that use us to basically show cars what not to do around a big truck. So yeah, we are used in ways that I never dreamed we would be used, and it's great. So yeah, that's why I'm serious about being family friendly. And obviously, as you guys have seen in chat, some people don't understand it, some people don't get that idea, and quote unquote don't think it's cool to be family friendly, and that's fine. I'm not being cool for them. You know what I mean? So have I ever delivered to in Austin or San Antonio? Yes to both. Georgetown, New Braunfels, all over, yes. You're welcome, it's off my leg. You should do a talk show. Well, we're working on it. It's called Road Crew Radio. We did one episode a couple weeks ago. We're going to try to squish out another Road Crew Radio coming this Friday or Saturday. New guy. I was in television broadcasting too. I missed that. I don't know what trending on the live YouTube means. I'm trying to scroll back here. I don't want to miss anybody's questions. Has anyone ever come into the chat claiming they appeared on camera? Not in a chat that I know of, but I have gotten emails and I've gotten comments on certain videos that a person watched the video and saw their car, you know, or their mom's house or whatever. So, but as far as chat, no. Couch potato driving. There you go. Oh, I don't focus on the negative. No. I just tell you guys some of the wide variety of emails that I get. No way do I focus on the negative stuff. I don't even look at it as negative. I just look at it as that's their opinion and they're entitled to it, and I'm doing what I'm doing because I want to do it. That's all there is to it. So no, I don't focus on the negative. Have I ever been over Donner's Pass in sketchy conditions? The very, very first time ever I went over Donner's Pass, when I first started truck driving, was like 2 a.m. during ice and snow, and yeah, I was terrified to death. It took 3 days to get my hands off of the steering wheel. Have I, okay, we talked about San Antonio. Can I line dance? No. Barry Richardson, you are definitely welcome. Jason, yeah, Jason's truck was on camera. Yeah, I talk to Germany Jens multiple times every day. He's my best buddy. Do I ever listen to music when driving? Just the music in my head. Mike C., you have yourself a good night. Mark Weber, glad you like the YouTube channel. Could I say hello to Jeff Brantner? Howdy. I just did. Glad you watch. Thank you. Chesterfield, UK. Hello to Pennsylvania. Have I ever been to Pennsylvania? I have. Do you consider your streams IRL in real life? I have no idea what IRL is. Somebody needs to tell me what IRL means. Why do you think you're a tad annoying in chat? Yeah, you're not. You're alright. You got a new truck, Jason? What'd you get? What'd you get, buddy? What'd you get? A Ram Dually? What do I carry? We carry everything. Honestly, everything. Everything, not just produce, frozen food. I've carried pillows, I've carried socks, I've carried food of the loom, I've carried furniture, I've carried all sorts of food, I've carried Home Depot stuff, I've carried building materials. Man, I've carried everything. Ninfas. I remember being at Ninfas a long, long time ago. If I had $1 million, what country would I want to go? I'd stay right here. I'd spend $300,000 on a nice RV. I'd spend another $100,000 for cameras and video equipment and broadcasting satellite. And the rest would be paid for fuel and stuff like that to take the road crew with me. What time are we pulling out in the morning? Oh, dang it, I hadn't thought of that. I don't know. Usually I wake up 7 o'clock or something similar to that. IRL is in real life. Now I forgot the question. I just shoot what happens in my life. That's it. On vacation, I took you guys to Fisherman's Wharf with me. I know a lot of people in the world are not as fortunate to get out. whether it be money or health or a way to get around or whatever. And I still have that ability to get out. So I'm gonna take the road crew everywhere I can. That's what my goal is. That's why we do the drone videos. That's why we do the Segway videos. And yeah, I understand. It might be corny to some people. But I've gotten enough emails over the years that people have told me it means the world to them. And that's why BigRigTravels is around. When do I have a vacation? I don't know. I try to do 4 days every month or so. 2019, 1500. Nice, Jason. You're gonna have to take me to a steak dinner in your truck. I have not been to Alberta, Canada yet. What is the average weight of the loads? There is no average. The most we've ever weighed was like 79,995 pounds legally. And the lightest load we've ever hauled, I think, was like 2,000 pounds. Do I crave the food in the trailer? I don't know. Have I ever carried money? Well, we're not going to talk about that. Silly questions like that, you know, I don't know. Hey, devils, what's wrong with my singing, man? What's wrong with my singing? What's wrong with my singing? Twinkie, glad you like it. How heavy was my heaviest load? 79,995, and yes, I'm serious. Have I ever lost? Dang nabbit chat. Have I ever lost a tread? Fly off the tires? Yes, several times. Do I ever use the alarm clock to wake up? Yes, absolutely. If I have to get up at 2 a.m. for a delivery or whatever, yes, I got to use an alarm clock. Verna, glad you enjoyed it. Have I ever got lost when driving? I've never gotten lost while driving. Insert sarcastic smirk. Am I driving automatic? Yes. Marie Pfeiffer. How does the Jake brake work? You turn it on and it slows you down. I don't know. Ask that exact question to Google. You'd probably get a better explanation than what I could give. Angels without wings. Hey, thank you. Well, Slick 50, thank you. Let's see. There you go, Neil. The road got lost, not us. Do my shoulders ever hurt or my back? Not really. Not because of truck driving. The lightest load, no. I forgot how much the Peeps weighed. I think Dave's were like 25,000 pounds or whatever. But the lightest load that I ever hauled, I believe, were the pillows. Because it was like one pillow per box or two pillows per box, and I mean there was nothing to it. What year did I start driving? 2006. Oh wow, you mean I actually got caught up in oh man. Got caught up in the chat. Do my legs or feet fall asleep? No. How do you not fall asleep? You just make sure you get enough sleep. Get out and walk around if you have to. How much fuel do the tanks hold? 100 gallons each. Have I ever gotten near a tornado? Yes. How old are you there, Trick Devil? You're getting dark pretty fast. Yep. Looks like the sun's starting to set. Am I young? I'm 25. Did the GPS come with the truck? Yes. Well, what weighs more, a ton of feathers or a ton of bricks? Obviously, a ton of bricks weighs more than feathers, but the feathers take up more room. How about that? Ha! Okay. Have I ever met someone famous in my travels? Yeah and no. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about that another day. I'm for a yes or no answer. I'm just gonna say no. Can I show you the dashboard? We'll show you the dashboard later. Coming up, maybe when I do the radio show, remind me. I actually have an excellent picture I took of the dash lights at night. I should put that up on Facebook because that came out pretty cool. I was testing out a new camera. How far will the truck go on full tanks? 1,500, give or take. VIB 3, good deal. Oh, you like the tow rope on the mirror, eh? The GPS that we use is actually part of the Qualcomm system.
A message has arrived. Messaging.
Oh, you know what? I didn't let you guys watch a commercial. Here, watch this commercial. It helps support the website. Oh, I forgot to finish eating my lunch. Oh well, it's cold now. What am I having for lunch? Well, I did have chili cheese dogs. Overloaded with chili, overloaded with cheese. I decided to, since we were talking with you, I figured I'd just spring for a couple hot dogs instead of cooking lunch. I think I did play an ad when we walked out for coffee. You may not see an ad, but I mashed the button. The Qualcomm is who Chatty Cathy's part of. Have I delivered to Minnesota? I have. Scotland George, how are you? There you go. What? I did a good guess. I was 40 miles off. Good guess. Nope, no Tom. There's that nice Peterbilt. Up in smoke, cash gone. Howdy to Ireland. Go to the website, BigRigTravels.com. Click on the video vault. Down at the bottom, you'll see a video of the inside of the truck. The ads on the archive should be every 30 minutes. And it should happen while it's live. Some people see the ads, some don't. I don't know what makes it. There you go. You never know when you'll be on camera. There's a nice Kenworth. Actually, quite a bit of activity here. I wish we had a better signal. Yeah, premium YouTube does not ever see the ads, and that's fine. I figure the people who see the ads, great. If they don't see the ads, great. You know, I mean, and at first, believe it or not, the first several years I ran the website without ads. But as we expanded and all of that, yeah, that did not last very long. Ads are mainly to pay for the website hosting and bandwidth and all that. What was it? Last year, 2018, we've spent $2,000 on server upgrades, new security measures, and all of that. So yeah, all the money going to the website, almost all of it goes right back into the website. If I had my own trailer, what configuration would I have? I don't know. I'd have a reefer. Oh, Snowman died. What happened to Snowman? No, Snowman came unplugged. The problem with 360 cameras, you can record 360 video all you want, but you're not going to broadcast it live from a moving vehicle. We broadcast everything in 720 I know everybody wants 1080, but there's no way, because think about it. We go through some buffering fits now and then, and that's just with 720. If we did 1080, you know, you're basically doubling the size of bandwidth. You'd never get nothing out. And 360, forget it. It's just not possible right now. Would I do it if I physically could? Absolutely. If I had a way, I would have more cameras, 360, PTZ cameras for you, you know, all that. Cheesy Video, how are you? We are doing everything we can to the best of our ability with the equipment we have and all that. Now, I do realize that other channels record videos in 4K, and that's wonderful. But recording and editing is a whole different ball game than trying to broadcast and push up all this data through a cell phone. You know what I mean? So there is quite a bit of technical differences. Are we going for a drive? Not now. Oh, Rick. Only one time did one driver give me, basically sat there and cried because I parked next to him. Remind me and I'll tell you about that another day. 7:22, we'll let you go at 7:30. I'm getting tired. I want to do my own stuff. But yeah, remind me, and I'll tell you about the crybaby out in Snowville, Utah. Let's see. What time do I wake up? Probably about when the sun comes up. Have I flown FPV drones? No. .4K is possible if you are hardwired and tethered and all that stuff, but from a mobile phone, yeah, I guess physically you could broadcast live, but if you leave that tower, like we do across the mountains in Montana, you're not going to do it, no. See, that's the thing. People have told me that they could broadcast a party from their house in you know, 1080 and 4K or whatever. Yeah, well, being in one location in your house in a major city is not the same as a signal coming from an 18-wheeler rolling down the highway moving 60 miles an hour through the mountains, or the plains of Wyoming and Kansas and whatnot. It just is not the same. I don't care how technical some of these people sound. I've learned that they just really don't have a clue. Let's see. I do what I can with what I have. That's all we could ever do. Horn at the truck, please. No. Gossamer, Lionel, J-Dog, Mark Weber. Do I take time off? Yes, 4 days a month or so. Tomato Head, how are you? Hey, Aussie, how are you? Good to see you. Corey D. David. Is this trip a drop? Delivery is a drop, yes. Nancy Kringle, how are you? I got your email. I don't remember when you sent it, this morning or yesterday. I'm so far behind in emails, it's not even funny. Speaking of which, I do read every single email. I may or may not answer, and that's not me being rude intentionally. Sometimes I can sit and read an email while I'm standing in line at the shipper, or whatever the case may be, and I don't really have a chance to sit there and peck out an answer. So nobody be offended if I don't give a direct answer. But you can be assured I do read every email. Janet Martin, thanks. I'm just me. Delaware checking in. How are you? What trucking company is the best? You know, trucking has so much to offer. You could tailor it to what best suits you. You could drive all 48 states. You could drive regional. You could drive just a few states. You could drive local. You could drive where you get home once a month. You could drive where you get home once a week. You could drive where you get home every day. You could haul flatbed stuff. You could pull tankers. You could pull reefers. You could do dry. You could do dedicated runs. You know, so you have to just basically do your own homework about that. There's so many variations and combinations of ways you could have a life as a truck driver. That really would have to just be up to you. So what's good for one, it may not be good for another driver. I will say that don't put too much weight about a trucking company or two by reading reviews on the internet. When you do that, most of the time, the only people that are going to leave reviews is when they feel wronged or got fired or whatever the case may be, because most reviews are negative. What I did when I got into truck driving is I hung around the truck stops, and while they're fueling, I would stop and say, hey, I'm thinking about being a truck driver. How are you? Are you happy with your company? How is the pay and whatever? And let the truck driver talk. And then I would go back to the truck. I'd write down who they drove for. Were they happy with the pay? Were they happy with their bosses? Were they happy with whatever? What were they not happy with? And after 20 or 30 truck drivers, I started to see a common pattern of truck companies to stay away from because nobody was happy, and trucking companies to look into. And I also learned what type of truck people enjoy driving the most. So if you talk to people, they're willing to give you answers. Does that make sense? But no matter what company you drive for, no matter what you haul, type of truck you have, it's up to you to be a responsible truck driver. In the end, at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to obey the laws, to drive properly, to keep yourself alive, and to keep everyone else alive. And if you have a super trucker attitude, I don't want to see you on the road. flat and simple. All right, it's 7:30. I'm gonna have to let you guys go. I don't know. I'm sure we gave you 2 hours of non-stop chat and questions, but I'd like to find something else to do. All right, Lionel, James, Tomato Head, all that good stuff. How are you? I'm tired. HT from Canada. Am I going to do the live podcast again? Yes, we will do the Road Crew Radio probably a Friday or Saturday, depending on schedule, depending on how strong the connection is. Yes, we will be doing it. Word Slinger, Walt. Goodbye to everybody. Man, chat's flying by faster than I can keep up with you. Alright, you guys have yourself a good night. I appreciate you. Make sure you check out the website, BigRigTravels.com. All sorts of good information there. And I promise you, before I go to bed tonight, I will update the trip journal. I promise. I promise, for real. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you like videos like this, where we just sit and chat and y'all watch the trucks come and go, make sure you hit that like button. And I will talk to you guys in the morning. We will drive, how many did I say? We have 450 miles, give or take. We will drive that out tomorrow. We will drop this trailer tomorrow at delivery, as soon as we get there. So a long day tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday, hump day. What time in the morning? I don't know. 7 o'clock, give or take. We'll see how it goes. All right. See you guys in the morning. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Good night from Statesboro, North Carolina.